up here. And we could just take a few moments, as always, just to arrive. So again, just finding your asana, your seat, whatever that may look like for you. And again, we can just slowly start to shift that awareness inwards. So again, just closing the eyes. And then just becoming aware of that body as well. So again, how does that posture feel? So again, do you want to roll the shoulder blades back and down a little bit? Lift up through the sternum, back of the neck is long, chin is slightly tucked in. And again, the lower back is in that neutral position. So we're not quite slouching, but we're also not lifting up too much and actually starting to create a little bit of a back bend. So just so I feel like we're sitting up nice and straight so the diaphragm can move. And then just taking those few moments to again start to shift that awareness inwards. And again, we can just start to bring our awareness to the breath. Just become aware of the inhalation and the exhalation as that breath just starts to deepen with that watching and that awareness of the breath. And then again, we can just slowly start to breathe into our yogic breath or our free part breath. So again, when we start to breathe into that belly or the diaphragm area. Up into the chest, up into the collarbone. So again, we're filling the whole of the lungs. And then again, we can breathe out of the diaphragm, out of the chest, and out of the collarbones. And we can breathe in for that count of 6. Again, 2 into the belly, 2 into the chest, 2 into the upper chest. And again, as we exhale, we just have that slightly longer exhalation. So again, just that breathing out for a count of 8 or 10 on the exhalation. So that just real emptying of the lungs on the exhalation. And again, also as we breathe in, we're breathing into the front, sides, back of the diaphragm, front, sides, back of the chest, front, sides, back of the upper chest. Again, that expansion throughout the whole upper body. And again, as we breathe out, back, sides, front, diaphragm, back, sides, front, chest. And again, back, sides, front, the upper chest. And again, we use that longer exhalation just to breathe out any kind of unwanted thoughts, stresses, worries, any of that mental chatter. Just breathe it out and just let it go. And then we're just going to start to go into a few rounds of that ujjayi breath that we've been playing around with for the last couple of weeks in classes. So again, this is that one where we make that deep ha sound at the back of the throat, slightly closer to the gluteus. So we breathe in and out through the nose. Again, that ocean breath or dafita breath. So that very vocal breath. And then again, if we're comfortable with that ujjayi breath, we can just take our tongue and rest it behind our top teeth, where our top teeth meet the palate. And then finally, that last part of Ujjayi, where again we breathe from heart to throat, and again from throat to heart. So again, that kind of victorious breath. And again, we just allow that breath to return back to its normal rhythm. And we just take a couple of moments here just to see how we feel. And again, we can gently rub those hands together if that feels okay, so we can create that little bit of warmth into the hands. We can bring those hands up to the eyes, again, just blinking into the warmth and darkness of the hands. Maybe bringing the fingertips onto the eyelids and massaging out the eyelids, onto the temples, and down the sides of the jaw to the chin. And then we're just going to gently clasp those hands together if that feels okay. And then again, wide out to the side. So we're going to begin here with a couple of little seated neck and shoulder stretches. So we're just going to come into any comfortable seated position. So again, if we're sitting comfortably as we are, we can just stay here. And then again, all we're going to start to do here is again, just relax those arms down by the sides. And we're going to take an inhalation, and again, we're just going to exhale, kind of dropping that right ear towards the right shoulder. So again, we're just stretching through that left, kind of top of the left shoulder, left side of the neck. And if we want to add that little bit of weight into the stretch, we can bring that right hand onto that, kind of towards that left ear and left temple, and just gently tug that head over a little. And then again, we can just release. And then again, just playing around a little bit here with the kind of the position of the head. So again, how does it feel just to kind of tilt the chin? And then how does it feel to kind of tuck, kind of take the chin up? And then again, a couple more rounds. Again, tucking the chin in. And then again, taking that head up. And then we can just slowly bring that head back to center. And then we're going to stretch a little bit more through the side. So we're going to bring that left arm up this time. So we reach that left arm up. And then we're going to reach that left arm up and over. And we're just going to kind of walk our right hand a little bit more out towards the right side as we bring that left arm up and over. So again, we find that side stretch here. We keep pressing our left hip down towards the floor. And again, we can also relax our kind of head here. So we can just kind of allow our right ear just to drop towards our right shoulder. And then again, we can play around a little bit here with the side stretch. So again, how does it feel to bring that arm a little bit in front of the face, a little bit over the ear, and then maybe even a little bit behind the ear. And then we can slowly come back up and release. And then again, do you know what, on the right side this time, so again, start with that little neck stretch to begin with. So again, dropping left ear towards the left shoulder, allowing that right arm to go nice and heavy. We can get our left hand this time, we can bring it up towards that kind of right temple, right ear, as we just tug the head over a little bit. And then again, just dropping that left arm back down. Again, keeping that left ear moving towards the left shoulder. Playing around again a little bit here with kind of that position of the head. So again, if we slightly drop the chin in, how does that feel? Can you take the head up? And again, a couple more rounds. And then again, we can slowly come back to center. We can now take it a little bit more into a side stretch. Again, we bring that right arm up this time. We can again reach that right arm up and over. We can start to walk our left hand a little bit more out towards the left side. Again, relaxing that left ear down towards the left shoulder, finding that really good side stretch there. Again, pressing your right sit bone down towards the floor, or your right bum cheek down towards the floor. And then again, how does it feel to play around a little bit with the arms? So again, bring that arm a little bit in front, a little bit over the ear. And then again, even maybe that little bit behind the ear. And then again, coming back to center. And then we do one last little stretch here for the shoulders. So now we're going to work a little bit through the front of the chest. So we're going to play around a little bit with that kind of half cow head arms. So we're going to start by getting our left arm, and we're going to turn our left hand to face behind us and then reach that left arm up. So again, we start to get that little bit of stretch across the front of the chest. And then all you're going to start to do here is you're going to start to bend that elbow, and you're trying to bring that hand somewhere kind of either the mid-back or maybe between the shoulder blades. So again, the back of the hand presses towards the shoulders and the palm is facing away from you. And then this can be quite a strong side stretch here. And I often find with this one, if I try and imagine I'm trying to stick my left shoulder blade onto my back, so I'm really trying to pin my shoulder blade onto my back, and it opens up a little bit more through the chest. And then again, you can also do the same thing here with the neck, but again, it can be very intense. You can drop your right ear a little bit towards the right shoulder. You can also bring your right hand into it. So sometimes you can even wrap your right arm around the back, maybe grab hold of your kind of left forearm, maybe even your left elbow. But again, it can be a really intense stretch, this, so go gently. And then again, we can slowly bring the head back to center, releasing that arm. And then we're going to go the opposite way now with that left arm. So we're going to bring that left arm up, reach it up towards the ceiling, and then drop it in between the shoulder blades coming in from the top. And again, this time that palm is facing towards the shoulders. And again, the same thing here, trying to kind of pin that shoulder blade onto the back. Again, you can bring the other arm into the movement if it feels okay. So you can bring your right arm up, maybe hold on to your kind of forearm, hold on to your elbow. I find if I hold it onto my elbow, I can just slightly walk those fingertips a little bit further. But again, it's a really good stretch in the upper arm, front of the chest here. And then again, how does it feel here just to slightly, again, go gently, tuck over a little bit towards the right side. So again, you're stretching through the left side of the ribs. This is my rehab for my headache tonight, all these stretches. And then we can slowly come back to center. We can release the arms, we've lost them, someone's disappeared. And then we do all that on the opposite side, so we can get that right arm this time. We can turn that right hand to face behind us, reaching it up behind. And then again, we can bring that right hand somewhere either mid-back, between the shoulder blades. So again, the back of the hand is pressing towards the back, the palm is facing away. Again, if you're right-handed, this might be a little bit tighter. And you can bring your left arm underneath, and maybe hold on to the forearm, holding on to the elbow. And again, you can just stay here, or again, you can bring it a little bit more to the top of the shoulder by dropping our left ear towards that left shoulder. We've lost Claire and Dave, that's who we've lost, they've disappeared. And then again, we can come back to center. And then we can release the arm, we can now reach that arm up in front. Again, we can bring it down between the shoulder blades. Again, we can bring our left arm up and over, maybe hold on to the elbow, hold on to the forearm, bring those fingertips a little bit more down between the shoulder blades. Again, try and squeeze that shoulder blade onto the back. So again, can be very strong stretch there. And again, we can just stay here, or again, if it feels okay, maybe just slightly, again, it's very slightly for me, I find this very intense, just tilting a little bit towards that left side. And in this one, I feel the stretch right up through the side of my ribs, right up through my armpit, into my upper arm, and right up into my elbow. It's very, very tight for me, this one. And then again, we can go back to center and we can release those arms. Oh. And we can just take a couple of moments here again, just that little stretch out of the neck. And then again, taking the head in the opposite direction. And then we're just going to bring that head back to center now, and we're going to come over into our little child stretch. So just coming into any comfortable child, and again, if you want to add a little bit extra stretch here into your arms, you can again come into any child position, so knees together, knees hip distance, knees wide out to the side. You can stretch the arms out in front, or again, you can just have your hands resting on the block. So you might kind of rest your wrists on the block, drop the hands off the edge of the block. Again, this will slightly intensify that stretch across the front of the chest because your head is slightly lower than your shoulders. But again, just go gently with this one. Okay, it can be very intense. And again, you can have your toes tucked under if you want. I can only do child with toes tucked under at the moment. And then again, we can slowly maybe walk those hands towards one side, come into that little side stretch there in child. We can walk the hands towards the opposite side. And then again, we can come back to center. And then just stretching those arms out now and slowly coming up onto all fours. So now we're going to play around a little bit here on all fours to begin with. So then we're going to play around a little bit into the arms and again how that affects the shoulders. So to begin with, you're just going to see how it feels to kind of turn your fingers in to face each other in your kind of flat back position. So knees are roughly stacked underneath shoulders. No. Knees are roughly stacked underneath hips, hands underneath shoulders. And again, because this kind of widens across the back of the shoulders, can you have a little kind of rock from side to side here? So very good for stretching out the wrists and the shoulders and the forearms. And then we can come back to center. And then we can turn our palms or our fingers to face outwards. And again, the same thing here, go gently with these, especially if you have wrist issues or forearm issues. Have that little rock from side to side. And then, if it feels okay, and go very gently with this one, you might even turn your hands to face in towards you. So this is a very good forearm stretch, but can feel very, very intense. And again, same thing here, you might just hang out as you are, or you might even feel it's okay just to go forwards and back a little. I love this one, it's really good for climbers, but it is a very intense stretch. And then we're going to come back to center. And then we're just going to take a moment here just to relax those wrists for a couple of breaths before we come into our cat-cow. So again, we might come into child, we might just give our wrists a little bit of a shake out there. And then again, we're just going to stretch those arms back out. And we're going to slowly come up here onto all fours. So now our little cat-cow spine rolls. So again, hands stacked underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. And again, as always, that slinky spine, coming to a tailbone up, drop the belly down, roll up through the front of the chest, lift up through the head as we inhale. As we exhale, we tuck toes under, tuck tailbone down, suck the belly in, arch the back, drop the head. And again, a couple more rounds, working with the breath. And then again, when we've done 3 rounds, we're going to come back to that flat back position. We're going to take them a little bit further. So again, we're going to step our hands a little bit further forward. We're going to press into the fingertips as we inhale. We're going to exhale, pull back towards that little child stretch. And then again, we can inhale, coming back to our flat back position. And again, exhaling, just coming as far forward as feels okay for your wrists and your back. And then again, a couple more rounds working with the breath. And then the next time we come into our little upward facing dog, if it feels okay to hang out there for a couple of breaths, or again, we can take a couple of breaths here as we inhale, and then exhale, kind of take your gaze over your right shoulder, so you're stretching through the left a little. Again, inhaling back to center, exhaling, taking the gaze over the left shoulder. And then again, coming back to center, slowly pulling back into any little child relaxing position here for a couple of breaths. So again, we can have arms stretched out in front, we can have hands down by the feet. I'm just going to take my socks off here and get ready to come into little downward facing dog. And then again, whenever you're ready, if you do want to take your socks off, if you've got them on before we go into a few standing poses, you can do here. And then again, you can stretch those arms out. You can slowly come back up here onto all fours. We can again bring hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. We can press into the fingertips, press up between the shoulder blades. We can tuck the toes under. We can drop the bum towards the heels as we inhale. And then as we exhale, we can take that tailbone up towards the ceiling. We can come into our little down dog here as we take a few moments to stretch out in our little down dog. And then again, whenever you're ready, just starting to walk hands to feet, feet to hands. Coming into your little forward fold, forward flop, however you get there. Taking a couple of moments to ragdoll, bob up and down, rock from side to side. And then again, you can roll up, hinge up, take your arms wide out to the side. Lift up and back into your standing position. So now we're going to come towards the front of the mat, and we're just going to get grounded here in our Tadasana, front of the mat. And again, we're just going to press down into the feet and relax those arms down by the sides. So we're going to inhale, bringing those arms up. Again, we're going to clasp the hands together above the head. We're going to exhale, roll the shoulder blades back and down, tucking the ribs in as we inhale. We're going to exhale, do that little side stretch. Inhale to center, exhale to the opposite side. And then again, inhaling, coming back to center, arms wide out to the side, clasp the hands behind the shoulders, squeeze the shoulder, clasp the hands behind the back, squeeze the shoulder blades in. And then again, slowly folding forwards. Dropping the head down, bring the arms up behind. And then we can relax those hands down when we're ready. We can just come into our little forward fold. And then again, we can take a few moments here. So again, we can ragdoll, we can bob up and down, we can rock from side to side. And then again, we can cup the fingertips in line with the toes. We can shift the weight towards our right foot as we inhale. And we're going to exhale, step that left foot back. We're going to come into our little low lunge here. So again, we're going to drop that back knee, maybe top of the foot on the floor. I'm going to keep my toes tucked under. We're going to take an inhalation here. And again, we're going to exhale, lifting up towards our little low lunge. And we can even clasp the hands together there above the head and just roll the shoulder blades back and just take a breath there. And then we can slowly bring those hands back down. We can plant the palms underneath the shoulders, but this time again, pressing into the hands up between the shoulder blades, tucking the toes under on the left foot, but rather than just lifting the back left knee off the floor, try to press your left heel towards the floor to straighten that leg. So again, just stretch it out a little bit more through the front of the quad, pressing into the hands up between the shoulder blades as we inhale. Exhale, step in that right foot back, shifting the weight, shoulders over hands, plank position. Dropping knees, top of the feet onto the floor. Pulling back to child, or again, lowering chest towards the floor. Pushing through to our little up dog. And then pulling back into your little child stretch. And again, in child stretch, tucking the chin in, pressing into the fingertips, feeling that stretch across the shoulders, down the arms. And again, sliding the hands in here underneath the shoulders, pressing into the hands up between the shoulder blades, tucking the toes under, taking that tailbone up towards the ceiling as you come into your little down dog here, taking a couple of moments to stretch out in your down dog. And again, we can do that little calf stretch here in down dog. So again, we can step left foot behind right, press that right heel towards floor, tailbone up towards ceiling. And then again, opposite side. Again, we get that little calf stretch. And then we can bring back that foot in, come back to our little down dog. And again, from there, we can walk hands to feet, feet to hands. You can step through, hop through. However, you come into your little forward fold, forward flop. Take a couple of moments, ragdoll, bob up and down, rock from side to side. And then again, we can roll up, hinge up, take those arms wide out to the side as we lift up. And back into Tadasana. And then again, we're going to do all on the opposite side. So again, we're going to come towards the front of the mat again, pressing down into the feet, relaxing the arms down. This time again, we're going to inhale, bringing the arms up. You can't see me with this one. But what we're going to do is we're going to turn our palms to face up towards the ceiling. So slightly different rotation here. We're going to take an inhalation here. We're going to exhale, little side stretch. Inhale to center, exhale to the opposite side. And then again, inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, taking those arms wide out to the side, again, clasping the hands behind the back. If you can do a tight clasp, do tight clasp. Again, if your shoulders don't allow you to do that, just have that loose clasp. And then again, take that inhalation, exhale, folding forwards, bringing the arms up behind, dropping the head down. And then again, we can relax those arms down when we're ready. We come into our little forward fold, forward flop. We can take a couple of moments here. Ragdoll, bob up and down, rock from side to side, whatever feels good here to stretch out a little. And then again, cupping the fingertips in line with the toes, pressing the weight towards that left foot, stepping that right foot back, dropping that back right knee, top of the foot onto the floor, taking an inhalation. Exhale, lifting up towards our low lunge. Again, we can clasp the hands together, roll the shoulder blades back and down, maybe even slightly push the chest forwards a little bit as we sink down. So you might feel it again a little bit more in that quad. And then again, we can bring those hands back down, plant the palms, press up between the shoulder blades, tuck the toes under on that right foot, but again, press that right heel towards the floor. So really feeling that stretch through that quad there. And then again, you take that inhalation, exhalation, step left foot back, shift the weight, shoulders over the hands, plank position, drop knees, feet onto the floor, pull back to child, or again, lower chest towards the floor, push through to your little up dog. And then pull back to your little child stretch. And again, when you come into your little child stretch, press into the fingertips, tucking the chin in, really feeling that stretch across the shoulders, down those arms. And then again, we can slide the hands underneath the shoulders, press into the hands up between the shoulder blades. Again, tucking the toes under as you inhale. Exhale, taking the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Coming into your little down dog here. And then again, take a couple of moments to stretch out here in your little down dog. So again, you do the calf stretch if you want. You can walk your dog. You can bend your knees, drop your belly towards the thighs, and then press the heels towards the floor. And then again, coming hands to feet, feet to hands, or stepping through, walking through. However you come into your little forward fold, forward flop. And then again, rolling up, hinging up, taking those arms wide out to the side as we lift up. And back into Tadasana. So now we're going to come back to the front of the mat and we're going to do some slightly more balancing. I'm not sure if this is a good idea for me, but very good rehab for me. So all we're going to do here is come towards the front of the mat. And again, just pressing down into the feet. So again, this time we're going to inhale, come into that raised prayer position. So we're just going to bring our hands into prayer position. And we're just going to take our gaze up towards our thumbs here. And then again, we're just going to exhale, drawing the hands down the midline. Come into your little forward fold or forward flop. And then again, cupping the fingertips in line with the toes, shifting the weight towards that right foot, and we're going to step left foot back. We're going to start to bend that front knee, but we're going to keep our back knee off the floor because we're going to come into a high lunge in a moment. So pressing down into the right foot, really pressing into your left toes through that left heel, taking an inhalation here, and exhale, lifting up towards a high lunge. And then again, we can straighten the front leg a little. We can come to cactus arms or jazz hands. And then again, squeeze the shoulder blades in as we inhale. Exhale again, bending the front knees, we sink down low. And then again, we can straighten. And then final one, bringing those hands into prayer position, starting to bend that front knee and then lowering the belly down towards that front thigh. And then that little twist here. So we're going to try and hook our left elbow over that right knee. And then we're going to take our gaze up towards the ceiling. And then we're just going to relax the hands back down onto the floor, press into the fingertips up between the shoulder blades as we inhale. Exhale, step that right foot back, shift the weight of the shoulders over the hands, plank position. Again, drop knees, feet onto the floor, pull back to child, or again, lower the chest towards the floor, push through to your little up dog. And then pull back into that little child stretch. And again, not tucking toes under, pressing into the hands, tucking chin in. And then again, we're just going to slide those hands underneath the shoulders, press into the hands up between the shoulder blades, tucking the toes under, bump towards the heels, taking that tailbone up towards the ceiling, little down dog. And then again, whenever you're ready, you can again walk hands to feet, feet to hands. You can come into your little forward fold, forward flop, however you get there. And then again, you can roll up, hinge up, take those arms wide out to the side as we lift up. And back into Tadasana. And then again, we're just going to come back towards the front of the mat now. And we're just going to come into our little Tadasana. And again, we can just press down into the feet, relax the arms down by the sides. We're going to inhale this time, bringing those arms up, again, gaze up towards the thumbs. Either hang out here or again, take it into that little bit more active back bend, where we press into the feet, take the belly forward, chest up, head back. And then again, inhale. Exhale again, drawing the hands down the midline. Come into your middle forward fold, forward float. And then again, we can cup fingertips in line with the toes, shift the weight towards our left foot, step that right foot back, start to bend that front knee, really press into the toes of the back foot through that back heel. Take an inhalation here, not sure if we want to do this. Oh, yeah. And then exhale, lift it up to your little high lunge. Again, straighten the front leg, which I can't do on this side, straighten the front leg. And then again, coming into cactus arms, starting to bend that front knee, sinking in a little. And then again, you can straighten the front leg. You can bring your hands in towards prayer position. Take that inhalation. Exhale again, bend the front knee, and then again, lower the belly towards that front thigh. Slightly twist towards your right side. So again, your left side, hooking your right elbow over your left knee. And then again, we can drop those hands down onto the floor. Press into the hands up between the shoulder blades. Step in that left foot back. Shifting the weight of the shoulders over the hands. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then we're just going to slowly lower down. So we're going to drop our knees and then come down on to our fronts here for a couple of moments. So we're just going to take a couple of moments here again, maybe just have that little wiggle out of the lower back. And then we're just going to do a little bit more here into our kind of upper chest area. So to begin with, we're going to come into, actually no, we're in the lower back. So we're going to come into that crocodile pose to begin with. So this is that one where we take our arms out in front and we grab hold of our opposite upper arm with our hands. And then we rest our forehead kind of on the cross of those arms. So it's a very, very gentle back bend to begin with. And again, if it feels okay, you start to walk your feet towards the outside of the mat. And then you turn your toes to face outwards. I can do for demonstration purposes, but can't do for any length of time on my left side. And then we can slowly bring those legs back in. And we can again just release those arms a little bit there. Just maybe have that little wiggle out of the lower back. And then we're just going to come up a little bit higher. So we're going to come into a low cobra or sphinx pose. So again, this really depends on what feels good for our lower back. So we might have our elbows underneath our shoulders. We might have our elbows a little bit wider out to the side. So again, our belly's really kind of pressing down into the floor. Whichever feels best here for your back. And then again, the same with the legs. So you might have your legs relaxed and your glutes relaxed. So your legs just kind of gently rocked out to the side. Or you might have your legs a little bit more engaged, which is where you would have your legs a little bit closer. You would kind of point through the toes, press the top of the feet into the mat. So again, your glutes engage a little bit. So again, whichever one feels best for your lower back. And then again, all we're going to start to do here is we're just going to kind of press up between the shoulder blades and we're going to tuck our chin in. So we're kind of widening across the back of the shoulders here. And then we're going to go forwards. We're going to take our head up, our chest forwards, gaze up. So again, now widening across the front of the chest. And then again, we're going to slowly come back down. And again, just have that little wiggle out of the belly here, or the bum for a couple of moments. And then we're just going to come back up towards that low cobra position. And this time we're going to play around with cat-cow in cobra. So again, we're really going to work into that thoracic part, that rib cage area. So again, this time we're going to have our kind of forearms and our hands pressing into the floor. So again, we might have our elbows going underneath the shoulders, might have our arms slightly wider out to the side, might have a little bit closer in, whichever feels best here for your back. Again, same with the legs. Do you have legs relaxed? Do you have glutes engaged? And then again, all we're going to do here is we're going to inhale. We're going to take our gaze forwards, our head up. So again, really stretching through the front of the body there. And then as we exhale, like we're doing our cat-cows, we're going to tuck the tailbone down. We're going to suck the belly in. We're going to press up between the shoulder blades. Then we're going to drop the head. And then we're just going to do that a couple more rounds. And then when we've done 3 rounds of them, we're going to again just come back down onto our fronts. Have that little wiggle out of the lower back here. And then we're going to slowly come back up. And now we're going to work into a little bit more active back bends. So we're going to start by bringing our hands underneath the shoulders. And again, you might have elbows out to the side, you might have elbows tucked in, whichever again is kind of very natural for you to do. And then again, all we're going to start to do here is we're going to take a breath. And then we're going to slowly lift up to whatever point is comfortable here for our back. And then we're going to roll back down. And then you're going to take your arms to cactus arms. So again, you're going to have your hands underneath the elbows and your elbows roughly in line with the shoulders. This is my preferred way of doing these. And again, the same thing, take a breath and just lift up to whatever point feels good here for your back. And then again, you can lower back down. And then the final couple of ones here, I just want you to have that little play around. So again, do you have your hands close in? Do you have them forwards? Do you have them back? So just take a few, maybe 2 or 3 goes here and just play around and just find what feels really good here for you and your back. And then again, when we've done 3 rounds, we can gently come back onto our fronts. We can have that little wiggle out of the lower back here. And then now we're going to take it a little bit more into our legs. So we're going to start by coming into our little frog pose now. So again, we're going to have that left knee in line with our left hip. And again, we might just have our chest pressing down towards the floor. We might have our head slightly lifted, might have the head supported on a block, whatever feels good here. And again, just take a few moments to relax. You can even stretch that left leg a little bit out to the side if you want to, which I can't do on my left side, but if you want to, you can. And then we're just going to bring that left leg back in. And then now we're going to take it a little bit again into that shoulder stretch. So again, this is that one, you know this one, where we're going to take our left arm out to shoulder level. We're going to bring our right hand underneath the front of the right shoulder. And we're going to gently turn over towards that left side. So again, we're kind of trapping that left arm behind us. And again, you might bring your head onto a block, onto a cushion. You might just keep your chest more rolled forwards. Again, it's less intense stretch through the front of the chest if that feels better for you. Then you might have your knees bent, weight shifting forward. You might have legs straight. You might get that top leg, drop the top leg back. You might even drop your top arm back. So again, whatever variation feels good for you. I'm just going to do a very gentle one today. My knees bent, my weight shifting a little bit further forward. And then again, we can slowly release. Again, we can just come back onto our fronts. And then again, we can do that frog position here on the right side. So again, we can bring that right knee out in line with our right hip. Again, we might be up on the elbows. We might have our head down onto the floor, whatever feels good here. And again, we can also take that right leg out to the side if that feels okay. Or again, you might just keep it bent, whatever feels good here for you. And then we can slowly bring that right leg back in. And then again, we can stretch our right arm out shoulder level this time. We can bring our left hand underneath the front of the left shoulder, rolling over again towards our right side and trapping that arm behind us. And again, we might have the, oh God, that feels really intense on this side. Again, we might have the head supported, we might have the knees bent, weight shifting forwards, we might really roll forwards. Again, we might have the legs straight, we might get top leg, drop it back, might get top arm, drop it back. Again, whatever feels good here for a few breaths. And then again, we can just slowly now roll back onto our fronts. And then now we're just going to again give that bum a little bit of a wiggle out. And we're just going to bring our hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to gently press up and then we're going to pull back into any little child resting position here. So again, you might have knees wide out to the side, you might have toes tucked under, you might have arms stretched out in front, you might have a couple of fists, forehead on the fist, forehead on the block. Whatever feels good here for your lower back. And then again, we're just going to stretch our arms back out towards the front of the mat. We're going to come up here onto all fours. Again, we're going to press into the hands, press up between the shoulder blades. We're going to tuck our toes under. We're going to again shift the bum towards the heels as we inhale. We're going to exhale, coming back towards our down dog here. Taking a couple of moments to stretch out in down dog. And then we're going to do that little kind of hip opener here in down dog. So we're going to shift our weight towards our right foot. We're going to take our left leg up behind, bend the left knee, drop that left foot over towards the right side. We press our right heel towards the floor, gaze maybe underneath that left armpit. And then just bringing that left foot back down onto the floor, taking that right leg up, bending that right knee, dropping that right foot over towards the left side, taking the gaze underneath that right armpit. And then coming back into our down dog. And then we're just going to step our feet a little bit further back and then shift the weight of the shoulders back over the hands. So we come back to our plank position. And then from here, we're going to come into our pigeon. So we're going to bring our left knee up behind our left wrist. Our heel is underneath the opposite hip. And again, we drop our back right knee, right foot onto the floor, and we slide that back leg as far back as feels comfortable. And then again, we play around with the front foot. So again, do we have our, so again, shouldn't be any discomfort in the knee. So again, if you want to wiggle your foot more towards the midline, the body more towards the groin, engage the foot. You can come down onto your elbows here. You can drop the head onto the floor. You can support on a block. I'm not going to hang out there for very long. It doesn't feel great on my left leg. And again, just taking a few moments here just to relax into your pigeon pose. I'll be on my right side, pretend it's my left. And then we're just going to lift up here and just find that little back bend in pigeon, if that feels okay. So all we're going to start to do is just bring those hands up. And we're just going to gently walk back to whatever point feels comfortable here for our back. And again, you can also anchor a little bit into that back foot. So like we did doing the back bend. So again, if you press the top of the back foot into the floor, allow the pelvis to sink down, take your chest forwards and up. So again, you find that a little bit more back bend. And again, maybe a little bit of piriformis and quad stretch. And then again, we can slowly come back. We can bring our palms underneath the shoulders. We can tuck the toes under on that right foot. Take that right knee off the floor as we inhale. We can exhale, step left foot back. We can come back to our plank position. And then we can come into pigeon on the right side. So again, we can bring that right knee up behind the right wrist. That leg is diagonally across the body, so the heel can be underneath the opposite hip. We can drop our left knee, left foot onto the floor. Maybe slide that leg a little bit further back onto whatever position feels comfortable. Again, we can play around with the position of that front foot. So again, there's no discomfort in the knee. And then again, once you've found that spot that works for you in pigeon, just slowly coming down to whatever point feels comfortable here. And then again, we can slowly start to lift up if that feels okay. We can again just walk back to that point where pigeon starts to become a back bend. And again, you can anchor into that back foot if you want to. So again, press the top of the back foot into the floor. So again, you feel that stretch through the front of the quad. And then again, to come out again, we're just going slightly lower. We're going to kind of drop over towards that right bum cheek. And then we're going to swing our left leg around. And then we're just going to come back onto our backs here. So we're just going to take a couple of moments here, and again we just might hug those knees into the chest. We might have that little rock out of the lower back. We might have our legs stretched up towards the ceiling, whatever feels good here for a couple of breaths. And then we're going to play around now with a couple of little twists. So to begin with, we're just going to drop our feet onto the floor. And we're just going to have that really kind of gentle twist to begin with. We've done quite a lot of back bending, so again, just to stretch out a little bit. So again, just have the feet on the floor, feet and knees together. We can again stretch our arms out shoulder level here, or we can turn our palms to face towards the floor. So again, slightly different rotation into the shoulders. We're going to start with that little window wiper of the legs here. So again, that little side to side. We can again bring our head into the movement if that feels okay. And then the next time you drop your legs over towards one side, again, whichever side you choose, you're just going to allow them to sink towards the floor, and you're just going to get comfortable there. And then again, that awareness of the upper body. So again, pressing the palms into the floor, press into your fingertips, allowing the shoulder blades, the back of the sternum and the back of the ribs to sink into the floor. And then again, just that, like we played around with last week, that woo-wee, so that effortless effort, just allowing the weight of the upper body to press down into the back of the body and into the floor. And then we can slowly bring our legs back center. We can again just have that little window wipening of the legs here. So again, that little side to side. And then again, the next time we drop our legs over towards that opposite side, again, just allowing the legs to sink towards the floor. Again, making any little adjustments. And then again, pressing into the fingers, into the palms, back the shoulders, back of the head, back of the sternum, sinking down into the back of the body. And then again, we can slowly bring those legs back to center. And then just coming into that little kind of hip twist now. So again, just walking those feet, knees to maybe about hip distance, either turning the palms up towards the ceiling or again cactus arms. Again, that little window wiper of the legs here. So again, that little side to side. And then again, as you drop your knees over towards one side, just allowing those legs to sink down towards the floor. Again, making any little adjustment here so those legs are comfortable. And again, you can bring that little bit of weight into the twist. You can get your bottom foot and hook it over your top knee. Again, you can just allow the back of the hands, back of the shoulder blades, back of the sternum to press into the floor. Again, that sense of allowing the upper body just to become nice and heavy and allowing the front of the upper body to sink into the back of the body and into that floor. So that effortless effort, and just allowing that letting go to intensify the stretch. And then again, we can slowly bring those legs back to center. We can again have that little window wipering out now, so get that little side to side with the legs. And again, the next time we drop our legs over towards that opposite side, we again just allow the legs to sink down to wherever feels good. Again, we can make those little adjustments. So again, we can hook our bottom foot over our top knee, provide to bring that little bit of weight into the twist. And then again, just that awareness of the upper body and just that letting go of the upper body, allowing that upper body to become heavy and just relax down into the floor. And then again, we can slowly come back to center. And then the last little one I was going to do to finish off, I was going to do that little myofascial release with a block. So you're very welcome to do that with me. If there's another pose you want to do to finish off, you're very welcome to do that instead now for a few breaths. But if you want to do that little myofascial release, you again have your block and you have it so it's on its slightly kind of thinner side. And again, you just bring that block underneath the back of the head. So again, that kind of, it's below that big bump at the back of the skull, which I can never remember the name of. And then again, all we're going to start to do here is just use those ridges of the block to kind of massage out the back of the neck. And again, if you have a cork block here, I apologise because they are very intense for this. Sometimes if you have a cork block, it's worth just putting a kind of jumper or something over, or a blanket on top of it and pants it out a little. And you can also do this again with 2 tennis balls in a sock, like a kind of the end of the sock tied up. And again, just using the edges of that block just to massage out that neck a little. Again, if you get any little kind of tight, tender areas, you can just hang out there and just breathe into it for a few breaths. And again, just that awareness again, because we're working into that fascia and that nervous system. The nervous system and fascia is really connected. So again, just trying to soften into it. And again, allow the rest of the body to soften in. So again, making sure the shoulders are relaxed, the hands are relaxed, jaws relaxed, the tongue's relaxed. Tongue's connected to your diaphragm for all that fascia. So again, just relaxing the palate, relaxing the mouth, relaxing the jaw. And then again, we can come back to center. And then actually talking about all that stuff with the jaw and the head, you can just gently bring your head back down onto the floor. Again, you might use the block as a support. And then all you're going to do now is you're going to get your fingers. And you're going to get your fingers and you're going to take them up to your jaw. So where your top and bottom jaw meet. And then again, you're just going to have a little kind of massage into that area. And again, really relax your jaw as you do this. And then using those first 2 fingers and that thumb, can you kind of trace that jawline down? So you're kind of tracing towards chin and kind of massaging down that jawline. And then massaging back up to where those jaws connect. And again, really into that kind of join between the top and the bottom jaw. And then you can keep tracing up towards your temples. Give those temples a good little massage out there. Then you can kind of trace underneath the eye socket. So again, at the base of the eye socket. So again, round underneath the eye and then kind of up to where the kind of the bridge of the nose is. And then again, coming back along that eye socket to the temple. And giving those temples a little bit of a massage. And again, especially when you do the temples, go right back towards your hairline. I do a lot of this when I have migraines. And again, you can also get your fingertips. You can again kind of use your first two fingers in your thumb and kind of pinch around your eyebrows and going towards the, again, the kind of the bridge of the nose. And go back. And then again, going back to that bridge of the nose, and then again, using the thumbs, just kind of pressing the thumbs up into that bridge of the nose. Again, another good little migraine and kind of headache point. And then finally, you just bring your fingers to your ears and just start to kind of pinch around the top of the ear, and maybe kind of pull it a little bit. And then tracing down towards your earlobes. Again, earlobes, sign of wisdom, Buddhism. So again, kind of pulling down that earlobe. And then finally, just rub those hands together. And we can just cup the eyes and just blink into that warmth and darkness of the hands. And maybe you can even just give those fingers onto the eyelids and just massage out those eyelids a little. And then you're just going to come into a little Shavasana now. So you're just going to take a few moments to relax here. And if you're not already comfortable, you're going to take a few moments to get comfortable. And again, just relaxing here. So again, any nice comfortable Shavasana position. So again, maybe on your front, maybe on your back, maybe on your side, maybe on your sofa, maybe on your bed, whatever is comfortable here. And then again, just those few moments here, just to again allow awareness to sink inwards. Again, just becoming aware of the body. And again, depending on what position you're in, just that awareness of the parts of the body pressing down into the floor. And then again, just that breathing or just that awareness of the breath to begin with. Again, just that inhalation, the exhalation. So again, just that watching the breath, becoming aware of the breath. And then we can just start to bring our breath and the awareness into the body. So again, just breathe in from the top of the head, right down into the fingers, the toes. Focusing into any little areas of tension, tightness, discomfort in the body. And again, as we breathe out, just allowing the body to relax, letting go of any areas of tension, tightness, and just allowing the weight of the body to just sink down into the floor. And then we can bring our breath and our awareness again from the top of the head, right down into the fingers, the toes. And focus into any areas of tension, tightness, discomfort. And again, as we breathe out, just allow those areas to relax, release, soften. And again, we just become aware of the parts of the body that press into the floor. And next exhalation, just really softening down into those areas. Again, just that letting go of any holding, any tension in the body, and just allowing the body to become nice and heavy. And then we can start to just become aware of the movement of the body with the breath. So again, as we inhale, there's this sense of kind of widening, opening, lengthening of the body. And as we exhale, it's softening, relaxing, releasing. And again, as we inhale, that widening, opening, lengthening. And again, as we exhale, just allowing the body just to relax and soften and release. And you can come into that Varuna Nadi breath. It feels good. So again, that one where we're breathing in from the skin to the heart. And then we're breathing out from heart to skin. So it's like that whole body breathes in through the skin to the heart. And that whole body breathes out from the heart through the skin. So we can just slowly bring our awareness back to the body, where the floor underneath us, the air on the skin. So to breathe a little deeper. We can again start to bring a little bit of gentle movement. Maybe starting to wiggle the fingers, the toes a little bit, taking the head from side to side. We're ready to bring a little bit more movement into the body. We can do a gentle overarm stretch. Again, just stretching out however feels good. And again, we can bring our knees up into our chest when we're ready, rocking out that lower back for a couple of moments. And then again, you can slowly roll to the right side. Or again, you can stay as you are if you want. Slowly roll to the right side. And finding your way up into seated. And again, just taking a couple of deep breaths here, bringing your awareness back to the here and now. Get ready to go down and sit on your sofa. And again, you can clasp the hands up. Relax those arms wide out. And thank you very much, guys. So thank you very much, guys. Actually, my neck feels